What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Unmastered Podcast. This is episode 11, The Weight of the World, with Daniela Martinez and Nick Masters. What's up, y'all?
What's going on?
What y'all been up to this week?
Just school and work, the usual daily. That's about it.
Hell yeah. What about you, Daniela?
Mom life, being at home, gym.
Hell yeah. What are because you, right before the podcast, you were talking about how you're putting your daughter through like jiu-jitsu and soccer and like these are all things that I think about like with my future kids of like having them in these physical activities. And do you definitely see like at least the benefits for it for your kid?
I do. She's more independent now, and yesterday was the first day of soccer, so she was just grabbing the ball with her hands and we're like, no. And then the coach is like, dude, she has so much energy. And I'm like, I know. I'm like, yeah. She doesn't stop. She just came from jiu-jitsu. He's like, oh, hell. And I was like, yeah. So she's just busy running around and ball of energy all day, every day.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, to like get the podcast started, who are you? Where do you come from? What was your upbringing like? And who are you right now?
I was born and raised in Oak Cliff.
Okay.
Yeah. Moved out to Seagoville, starting middle school. I have 2 siblings, my sister and my brother. I'm married. I have a 5-year-old. And my upbringing was pretty cool, pretty chill. My parents are really that Mexican, strict, but paselones. So I was like, okay. My dad was more on the stricter side, and my mom's the one that kind of took us everywhere, soccer practices, school. If we wanted to go out to the movies, she would take us. And my dad would just like not be okay with it, but he would be like, yeah, like, lárgate, it's fine. I'm like, okay. So that was how it was with my sister and I. With my brother, it was like completely different because he's a guy. So we're like, okay. But yeah, it was pretty cool. My parents are now separated. My dad lives in Lubbock. So we live with my mom and my brother. And my sister lives out in Austin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Are you the oldest?
I'm the middle child. Yeah. The middle baby.
Hell yeah. What like how was like your like I guess because you played soccer coming up, so how was your introduction into sports early on, and where did that start, and how did that like end up going into your adulthood?
I started when I was 3 years old. So my sister was, yeah, she was 5. And they would take me to her practices and I would just go and like want to be the metiche like in the field. So I came up from that and the coaches would be like, hey, like she could play with us. So I grew up playing with older girls and guys. And I've tried playing more now. I played through high school. But I dislocated my kneecap, so yeah, yeah. I went to play on Sunday, and I was like, oh, cool, it doesn't hurt. And then I took a shot, and it started hurting. I was like, fuck, okay.
Was that the only sport that you played?
Yes, my dad wanted me to play softball because he played baseball, but I was more of a soccer girl, so I didn't really go into anything else. And now I do powerlifting, so. That's a way different thing, and it's good. It's fun.
How did you get started?
How did you get started?
When I met my husband, he was my amigo at the time.
When was this?
When was this?
Like what year?
2017.
Okay.
Yeah, 2017. I used to work at Fitness Connection, and
nice.
We met playing soccer, actually, and he was all into the gym, and we started gymming together, and he was like, you should probably try powerlifting, and I was like, okay. So I tried it and fell in love with it ever since.
Yeah, look at you now.
Yeah.
God damn, that's crazy.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, like, now, that brings us to now, right? Like, your current kind of state.
Mm-hmm.
um, you've as long as I've known you, which has been a few years now, like you have always continued to progress within, your powerlifting career, you can say. Um, so in doing that, because that in itself, like, not that I was by any means a powerlifter, I went through like powerlifting training for a year, so I understand like the dedication that you even have to like put yourself through to achieve the goals that you want, especially like lifting weights and shit. Um, how have you been able to balance that along with being a mother? Because just my own perspective now in life, like I feel like being a mom is probably the hardest job on the planet.
Yes.
It is.
Especially being a good mom. Like if
Yeah.
you want to be the best mom that you can possibly be, it's the hardest fucking job that you can, do, right? So how have you been able, because I can see that you're a good mom, like, you're a good ass mom, and so like you're doing that, and then you're also like going through and training and developing your strength. How have you been able to balance those two things? And
It's been challenging. Since I did start powerlifting 2017, and I was looking to compete in 2018. So I didn't really get a coach until 2018 in February. And watching the strength that I had, it was like so like awesome and like sick that I was like, okay, like I can keep going. I can do more. And so whenever I had just started, I was peaking, and we found out that we were pregnant. So I was like, okay, like I have to pause this, and but up until I was maybe about 3 months, I was still like powerlifting. I was hitting high 300 numbers on my stuff.
jeez.
Yeah, and then I tried to work out during pregnancy, but it was just draining. My energy was just horrible.
Yeah, it wasn't
And
working out.
and I was always with morning sickness, and then like throughout the day, so it was just bad. And then after I had my daughter, maybe 2 months postpartum, I started lifting again, and I put myself in a meet for Mother's Day, and I competed, and yeah, my numbers went like skyrocketed up. I was able to get my squats and deadlifts to like 400s, and my bench moved up to like a 185. So
And this is after you had your baby.
yes, this is after.
Damn.
Yeah, like a few months after, like my strength went like increased so high that people would ask me like, how do you get to 4 or 5? And I'm like, have a baby. Just go have a baby. But yeah, it was pretty good. Now I've done maybe about 8 meets. I've done 2 nationals in Atlanta, and this year we went to Vegas.
Nice.
I placed second, and I have like 5 state records for Texas.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So it's good.
Congratulations on all
Thank
that,
you,
by the
thank
way.
you.
For real.
So it gives me that strength to keep going.
That
Like,
motivation.
Yeah, to watching my numbers compared to when I started and then now. And then I had like this prep for my Vegas meet it was mentally like hard, physically as well, because I have PCOS. So I had to be taking medication, and my energy would just be like.
For people that don't know what that is, what is that?
It's polycystic ovarian cyst syndrome.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just cyst on your ovaries for women. So
shit.
it's really, it has to do with like let me see, insulin levels on women, and like menstrual cycles, hormones, and like containing sugar. So
Oh shit.
it's hard. So it's like trying to lose weight and keeping strength while taking medication and getting all
That's
that in.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, like dieting, and it's just a lot. So when I was going through that, I was like mentally like not in prep. So my numbers kind of like backed that up, because I didn't really do numbers that I was doing like last year in November. So it made me really like emotionally like, what are you doing? Like, you're better, you're better, but just pushing through and like doing it. So it was like, okay, just get it through, like get it done, make it through the meet. And right now, I'm actually competing in November. So I'm in meet prep right now, 9 weeks out, and my numbers have been good. I got a new coach. So I'm just trying to get my energy back to like how I was before, to wanting to be at the gym and kind of like setting that example for my daughter as well. And so that's why I kind of decided to put her in soccer. So I'm like, I don't want to see her watching me like not have the energy to work out. So I'm like, okay, like I need to push it, get out and like take her to do stuff.
Yeah.
But it's challenging balancing both lives and being a wife as well. So keeping the house like in order.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and then finding that energy to like try to do my own thing, like my lifting, going to the gym, like working on myself, trying to find that out. It's figuring it out. It's just stressful.
Hell yeah.
It's a challenge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's-
Takes time.
Hell yeah. Damn. That's crazy. It leads us into the next portion. And have you experienced like and this is like every parent that you ask, like, their kid is like the greatest gift that they have. Like for you, how has, like, whenever you first had your baby, how hard was it initially for you?
Oh, that was going like to being first time parents. We thankfully had the support, like a lot of support from my mother-in-law and my mom.
Yeah.
Especially living with my mom, she would like get up and help me out, and
Hell yeah.
and Ugo would just like sleep it through, and he would wake up and be like, "Oh, that last night's sleep was good," and I'm like, "For you," because I would be the one with the baby, so it was like okay, but it was good. It was some scary moments. And recently I took Bella to the dentist last week, and she had like a dental procedure done, and I was crying like a baby because they put her like, they gave her anesthesia, and like just watching her and then like in pain, I was like, oh my god. So it's like a mother's heart. Like I'm like, oh, I wish it was me going through that, and
Yeah.
like just watching her just broke my heart. But with her coming into my life, she's a part of like why I am how I am. She actually, I feel like she saved my life. Dealing with my parents' separation and everything. I feel like God sent her to me for a reason. And watching her grow up and the love that she has for me and my parents, it's so sweet because she actually helped unite them, like bring
That's
them
awesome.
together, and it like and the awkwardness between it.
Hell yeah.
So the love that they all have for her, she's the only grandchild too, so from
Oh,
both
hell
sides. Yeah, she's spoiled.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. That's funny. Like, like getting into this next topic called progressive overload. And you just hearing you talk about your story, where you started from going to just, dating your now husband, and then having your child and progressing through your powerlifting career. That's all been progressive overload because every portion of your life has gotten a little harder.
Yeah.
So you've just been adding more to your plate, where now, like you said, like the numbers that you were hitting 2-3 years ago, those are easy now. That's easier now. So progressively, you've been overloading yourself in weight, but not only that, you've been overloading yourself with being a mother,
Yeah.
being a wife, and these, everything else, which is a lot, That's something that, like, over time, I've just realized that, yeah, like, mothers are underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a superpower we have.
Facts.
Yeah.
So how, like, what, in that regard, right, what do you want to continue to do moving into the future in regards to not only maybe your powerlifting career, but your personal life too?
I actually have 2 athletes that I train right now. They're in prep with me for the same meet. And with one of them, Alex, I've done 2 meets with. I prepped him for both, and he's placed first in his class and everything. And I just picked up another one, like, after I trained Alex. One of his friends reached out to me, and I'm prepping him for his first powerlifting meet with me on November.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I'm kind of, like, wanting to grow that, like, work my way into being certified a USPA coach, and picking up athletes, especially women, to try to get them into the sport.
Hell yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing watching the amount of strength that you have and you don't even know it, and finding something different to do. So yeah, I want to do that, and hopefully have another kid, because Bella's already 5, and they're all like, "She needs a playmate." I'm like, okay. So
Boy, girl, it doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
They're rooting for a boy, but honestly, whatever God sends is
For real,
perfect.
yeah.
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 But yeah, that we're looking into getting our own home as well, hopefully next year.
Hell yeah.
And
It'll happen.
yeah, just waiting
Yeah.
for blessings.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. So, how, like, because you described, like, this past prep, right? You're having a rougher time. Because my girl described what PCOS is too, and she was like, dude, it's like the worst. Like, if you're a girl and you have that shit, like, it's like fucking, like, it sucks. Like,
It does.
your menstrual, you know, all that
Yeah.
stuff sucks.
Yeah.
Like, even more. But aside from that, like, how have you been able to surpass shit like that? Like, what keeps you going? Because even though you were going through all that, you still placed second on a national level, you know? What is it that keeps you going on a day-to-day basis for you personally?
I think it would have to be my daughter, for sure, because I have her looking up at me. My husband's helped me out a lot through my preps whenever, like, making weight. There's been 2 meets where I've, like, been off by a few pounds, and I'm like, okay, I'll just drink water. So this meet at Vegas, I was off maybe like 10 pounds. We drove out, and I had weigh-ins on Tuesday. So Monday, I literally drank probably like 3 gallons of water. I didn't eat anything. And Tuesday in the morning, we went to the sauna, and I was in there for like 2 hours, in and out, in and out. And it was draining mentally. This is my second time doing it, and I promised myself I wouldn't do it, but it was just, it was something that I was like,
You gotta get it
oh,
done.
fuck it. Yeah, it was so bad. I
You're
was
there.
like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
And I had my husband on my ear. We didn't drive out here for nothing. You need to get it done.
Hell yeah.
And then he's like, if you come back out of the sauna, I'm leaving your ass here. And I'm like, okay. So I was literally crying, and I was like, I just want water, like SpongeBob. I was like, water. It was so bad, and I was off by maybe by like a pound, and I was like, okay, we'll just walk around. Vegas is hot as hell, so I was
Yes.
I'm like, we'll just walk around. I'll lose it. And I'm like,
Facts.
okay. So I went into weigh in, and they're like, oh, you're off by like point something. I was like, oh, hell. She's like, go pee, go puke, go spit, go do something. I was like, okay. So I was like, I went, but I didn't have anything in my body to like spit or pee. So I was like, oh, okay. And yeah, I went back maybe like 45 minutes later. Like, I forced myself to puke. I went back, and then she was like, okay, you got it. You made weight. And I was like, oh, God, okay. So after, like, I guess just getting it done and finding the strength to finish it, it's rewarding. But it's like, okay, you're never putting yourself through that again. But I'm like, okay, here I am now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make it through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's something that the people don't see behind
Yeah. God damn.
the meets, where you're like, oh, like, they just come out and lift. But no,
There's more to that.
it's a lot. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's draining. Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. Damn. Hell yeah. That's crazy. Damn. So, did you, whenever you started, cause just at least for me, like, you know, I've been going to the gym consistently, except for the last year, or you know, for like a good 6-7 years, and for me, like, I almost knew like instantly that it was like my place in the sense of like an escape. You know, somewhere that I can go and clear my mind. Was that something similar for you whenever you started going to the gym and powerlifting and stuff?
It was, especially going back to my parents' separation. And it all happened when I was leaving the college to play soccer.
Oh shit.
So I was really attached to both of them.
Yeah.
So
And that sucks because you're going away.
It is. It
and
does.
then you're not even there. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh shit.
Yeah. So all that happened, and I was out in college, and like I literally wouldn't even go to my classes. I just finished soccer season, and it was in Abilene, down in Cisco. So every game that I would play, I would drive back, and sometimes I wouldn't even go to the house because I was just so depressed. I was like, no, like I don't want to be home, so I would stay like with my friends. And going back, my dad's like, well, you just gave up, and I'm like, no, like you don't know what we went through, you know. So it's kind of hard. And then I met Hugo and my husband. He introduced me back into church, so I kind of found the salvation that I needed in that. With him, he was always so positive, and he kind of helped build myself up. So that, and then my daughter, and powerlifting, definitely, like, it made me value myself a lot more, if that makes sense. So when I compete, like, I try to be calm. So I'm like, you can do it. Like, you've done this way for reps. Like, it's okay. You got it. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, you've done this way before. So going back to, like, Vegas and the weights that I was hitting, I was like, fuck. Like, I've literally done this for reps, and I can barely get it for one. So it was hard. But it's like powerlifting's always there.
Yeah.
Where if I need to, like, if I'm feeling something, if I'm feeling like mentally down, I'm like, okay, like, just go to the gym.
Hell yeah.
So I'll force myself to go, or Ugo's like, come on, let's go. I'm like, dude, I don't want to go today. He'd be like, get your ass up, let's go. I'm like, okay. So one time there, I'm like, I'm so glad I came today. He's like, yeah. So it's, yeah, it's like an extra push, and like,
Hell yeah.
it's always gonna be there. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Shout out to your husband.
I know, he's number one.
For real.
Good man.
Yeah.
Good man. And your
Facts.
daughter. Shout out to her too.
Hell yeah. Damn, no, that's awesome. And that leaves like shit, like real, like it's like an anticipation to what you'll do at the next nationals, because it's like if you went into this one and you had to like
Yeah.
fucking slip through it, as you know, and you got second place, like imagine when you come in
Stronger.
dialed in, bro.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm going for that. The 500s. Trying to break the 500s.
Ooh,
So
hell yeah.
going for a world record.
Ooh,
You go get it.
Yeah.
you got it. We rooting for you.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, man. No, it's awesome. It's awesome. Hell yeah, because going, I've experienced, you know, the parent split, and that shit is not like, it's a fucking like mess, bro. It's a depressive mess.
It's a disaster.
Yeah.
It's a disaster, and like, because, you know, maybe the world may think that as soon as we're 18 or 19, we're like full blown adults. But we get into like our early 20s and we're still developing.
Yeah.
So even if we're adults and we see our family go through like deterioration or it breaking down, even I would say even in my personal case, like I saw the deterioration over time, over the years and stuff like that. You see the signs. But to actually be there and then it's like done.
Yeah.
Even though you know it's probably for the best, it's still like
It hurts.
it fucking hurts.
A lot.
And I feel like it's worse older. Because my siblings and I were like, we kind of understood, because we're like, okay, like they're arguing, like we're the ones suffering, like it's better. But after it all happened, it was like, what now? Like, what are we supposed to do now?
Mhm.
So it was like kind of we got stronger together, and we kind of like bonded more. It brought us together as like siblings, and they're honestly like my best friends. So it's good to see that, like, even though my parents went through that, like we went through that, like we're all still in a part together, if that makes sense.
Y'all are good.
Yeah.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like we're each other's best friends, including my parents. So it's like we know we're there. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Hell yeah. So, the phrase "c'est la luz," where did that start for you?
It started coming back into powerlifting, with powerlifting and life and finding self-love, self-growth. It's like a phrase that I kind of brought upon me to like follow, like a motto. I guess it gives me like that, like the light on the end of the tunnel to like keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So I see it like as a baby. I'm like my baby, because I'm like, okay, like I have to reach it. I have to keep going. I have to keep like continue to go and grow. So I feel like that's where I got it from. Yeah, from the Bible as well.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's crazy. Like, you hearing you talk about church and religion. Like, even me growing up, I was like, my family was Catholic, like fully Catholic. Like, I did my first communion, confirmation, all that stuff. But I was always very anti-religious and anti-religion and anti-church. I hated going to church, and as soon as I could drive and like not go to church, like whenever I was 16, I stopped going and stuff. I would like lie to my parents and say I had to work and shit.
Rebel. You know?
I gotta go to work, but I feel that, as I've gotten older, as I've experienced, even just experiencing like psychedelics and really experiencing my own self-development, like you say, and self-love and stuff, I've found God through that.
Yeah.
Like I think everybody finds God through their own avenue, and you can call God whatever. God is just an easy word to use, right? But it's just, you find that as you progress and as you grow more within yourself, you kind of find that, you find God, and you find that on just in the things around you and within you.
Yeah.
And it's cool that, like you said, being, having the phrase that, the light at the end of the tunnel, because it is literally like that. As long as we keep progressing, as long as we keep moving forward, we're going to get closer to that light.
Yeah. And it's like being better and like every way, spiritually, physically, like mentally. So yeah, like going to church, I started going with my husband, and it's like a relief to be there. So you feel like you walk in there, and it's like all the weight of the world is off of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have no worries, and you just go and like praise and sing worship.
Yeah.
And seeing my daughter, like, for those examples that she has, my father-in-law is like the right hand of the pastor at our church. So he finished speaking once, and he went and he kneeled down and was praying, and then this little girl just goes and like kneels down next to him and starts praying too. So it was like an emotional and like a heartwarming thing to see that she has examples like that, and she looks up to them. So, and then seeing us pray, and like throughout my pregnancy, we would actually pray and read Psalms, and it was like a day we would read each thing. So there would be times where we would be like finished with prayer, and Ugo would be like, "Are you asleep?" And I was like dead asleep. Like I was like, "Nope." I think he's like, "Yes, you were." And I was like, "I'm sorry. I'm just so tired." But like I know she felt that, and she heard it like being in my belly. Like for us to do that, like I feel like she's a great kid. So
That's awesome. Yeah.
coming from that, I feel like it's
Good values and stuff like that.
yeah.
Because those are things that, you know, if they're instilled into your kid at an early age, just like the values and, you know, the belief in something greater, you know, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Wait till she gets older. She's gonna be
Yeah.
even better.
For real. Hell yeah. So, I know we touched on this a little bit, but what are your goals going into the future? And what are things that you want to achieve? What are things that you want to do? What are things that you want to build? What are things that you want to get to?
I want to get through this prep, and my coach actually asked me, like, do you have anything you're looking forward to? Like, and I was like, just picking up my numbers, honestly. He's like, I knew you were gonna say that, and I was like, yeah. Because I'm like, last year I was squatting like 490, benching 200 pounds, and like deadlifting 470. And I'm like, it's hard, like watching like what I used to be to like right now. And I'm like, I know how to do it. Like, you know how to do it, you know what to do, but just finding the motivation out of like mentally to do it, it's like, okay. But I also don't want to see it as an excuse for me not to do it, like blaming, like, no, like I'm just mentally not there. So I guess getting better with that. I started picking up reading, so that's helped me out a lot. Trying to journal, but I just catch myself drawing flowers.
Hey, sometimes that's journaling, you know, like just even that little artistic
Yeah.
development is like nice.
But yeah, just doing that. Watching my daughter grow. That's probably in the future, like what I want to do. Like give her everything that I didn't have,
Hell yeah.
without spoiling them. But like the attention that I feel like I lacked from my parents, like trying to be better than that.
Hell yeah.
And being more patient with her, because sometimes you'll be like just chit chatting. I'm like, Bella, please, please, girl. She's like, what, mommy? And I'm like, just be quiet, 5 seconds. And she starts counting, and I'm like, girl, stop. Yeah, she's a character.
That's nice.
But yeah, I feel like just like that, family wise, growing, physically, spiritually, mentally as well. Powerlifting, getting my numbers up, and doing more meets probably next year. And yeah, I want to also do kind of start like my own little powerlifting team. So I'm gonna work on that after my 2 athletes compete. Kind of focus on that and getting certified to pick up and get more athletes in.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Shit, well, thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank y'all for inviting me.
For real.
Beautiful background story that you told us.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
For real. No, yeah, it's always good to hear like the perspective and like where people come from, especially someone like yourself. Like, you know, you're doing great things. You're on a great path. Even just, I guess, to touch on what you said, like I think even from an outside looking in, you and Hugo giving your daughter like you guys having a good foundation, you guys giving her that is like everything. You know?
Yeah.
Because it all starts from the foundation. You know, as long as the foundation is straight, like everything's gonna be amazing. So, you know, props to you guys. Props to him. You know, I've gotten to know him over the years too, and like he's a phenomenal, solid guy and stuff. But no, yeah, it's awesome to always see you guys continue to push and to thrive and to chase after your dreams, because that's exactly what you're doing. Is you're chasing your dreams, everything that, you know, things that you wanted to do, which are your dreams.
Everything's falling in place.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. But no, yeah. Thank you guys for listening. This has been Unmastered, episode 11. We'll see you next time.